Welcome back. It is always a good day. When I wake up, I give thanks. I take a mindful smell of the neighborhood with my puppy. And boy, California is just bursting with color and great smells, all this wonderful rain that we've had. Everything's in full bloom. I've got a neighbor that has rosemary bushes surrounding his house. So I just love to walk by and rub my hand on his rosemary bush. He doesn't seem to mind. Just beautiful outside. I am always encouraged when I know it's a day that I'm going to record for the next room. And this guest, y'all know her, y'all love her. Welcome back to the next room, my dear, dear friend, Pam Oslie. How are you?
I'm great, Jane. How are you?
I'm doing so good. I'm just like so thrilled. You have been top of mind for me. And I keep thinking, I need Pam back on the show. I've got to have Pam back on the show. And so when I reached out to you, you're like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you. So it worked out really well. Pam, before I get started, I just want to do a little shout out to all the great countries that I have listening right now. I just counted, I pulled in another one. I have Indonesia, France, New Zealand. I love that's new. Also Germany. I have the UK, of course, Canada, huge. Australia's been a big market for me, the United States. It's just been so much fun every time I go on and go look at the back end and see all these new people that are loving the show, downloading the show, sharing the show. Big shout out of gratitude, because that's how this works. I've got to get this thing kind of cooking. The more listeners I have and the more people that I can touch, the more people I can help. So thank you so much. So Pam, last we talked, you were retiring from doing readings. I mean, you had done, you're a well-known psychic medium, you're an author, you're a speaker, you've done a TEDx talk. I mean, you're everywhere. And if anybody wants to find you, I'll put the link to your website, auracolors.com. You retired from talking to people on a daily basis and helping them connect with their loved ones. What are you doing now?
Well, let me just explain to people. I had been seeing 6 to 8 clients a day for 37 years. So it was time for me to shift
Right,
into, because I'm drawn now to go to a new level,
right.
which so so to back up, I just want to, because there's so much going on the planet. So I want people to know that the purpose that we created COVID was to get everyone, to get us to stop. It was like,
Mm.
hey, COVID, stop. Everybody stop running around like crazy, go inside, go inside, go inside. So Jane, during that whole time, I was getting inundated with clients going, you know what, now that I'm not at my job anymore, I don't want to go back to that job. I realized how stressed out I was and unhappy. And I want to do now what my heart and soul is calling me to do. So it was time for me to do a change too. It's like, so I just retired in 2022. Retired, that's such a wrong word.
Yeah.
I shifted my focus and where all my activity is. 37 years of that was good. And I also believe that people have their own answers.
Right.
So my encouragement now is, you already know the answers. If I can hear from your soul and hear what you're here to do or where you're going, or from your loved ones, you have the ability to do it too. So my stage now is to actually live at a higher level of consciousness, which is where we're going, Jane. Where we're going. I've been, you asked me questions, but I've been getting a lot of guidance from the other side of what's happening on the planet, why it's happening, and where we're going. It's very exciting.
I love it. And it's exactly why I wanted to have you back on, because I knew that you were getting a lot of energy and a lot of messages from the other side. We have been in a very tumultuous time, from COVID and the planet being on fire and civil unrest and just the crazy politics, and not to get into any of that, because I don't want to give any of that energy. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are they telling you about this pivot that we're going through right now in as far as human beings?
Okay, so first of all, lots of chunks here. We're in a time of shift. And anytime there's a change, there's usually chaos around change, usually. Okay. As Deepak says, even if you're standing in line to get on a train on track A, and all of a sudden they announce a track change, looks like chaos as everybody goes over to the next track to get on that train instead. So we're in a shift. The caterpillar is falling apart so that the butterfly can emerge. So all the systems that we have, everything that we've been running around doing, it's not sustainable. We know it needs to change. So what I've been told from the other side, and again, when I say the other side, it's like higher guidance, high consciousness, source, guides, God, whatever you want to, I always ask for the highest information. So I've gotten a few things. So one, what they told me is, we've been in a shift like this before. This one's different, and this is how. We had the fall of the Roman Empire. Then we went into the Dark Ages, where there was a pandemic, by the way. We had the Black Plague, the Black Death, right? Everyone thought that was the end of the world in the Dark Ages, right? What emerged out of that, Jane, was the Renaissance, which was a radically different new art, new literature, new science. That's when Newtonian physics arose. Newtonian physics basically said the world wasn't flat. So they started traveling around, that it wasn't the center of the galaxy or the universe, that it was a whole change in thinking. The printing press came out. So everything was radically different. Sorry, I've been talking a lot today. Anyway, so the people in the Dark Ages, I don't think could have even fathomed what was going to emerge in the Renaissance, right? But it was a shift, and it was a beautiful time. I mean, new things developed like crazy. Well, they said we are entering into a new Renaissance. The old Renaissance was predicated, what developed there was Newtonian physics. And Newton is basically just that the world's mechanistic. It's a big machine, and we're biological machines, and then we're born, and then we age, and then we die, right? It's all mechanistic. The new Renaissance that's coming is predicated on quantum physics. And quantum physics is all about energy and consciousness. And our technology is, even the current technology we have, it's all based on quantum physics. Our cell phones, the satellites, it's all energy, it's bits of information. So the way I look at, we're going to jump around here a little bit, but the way I even look at technology, when people are getting all scared about technology, is like, oh my God, just taking all the jobs. Good, then we don't have to work. We can, because what I'm showing in this new Renaissance is that we didn't come here to be slaves. We didn't come here to work hard and suffer and do jobs that we didn't like. And then just, oh my gosh, how boring. We came here as adventurous, fun-loving, interesting beings that were curious to experience things, but all the fun's gone out of it. We're not having fun as much anymore. It's too hard. It's suffering. It's divisiveness. It's anger. It's fear. It's all kinds of stuff. That's not why we're here. So we're evolving that. We're shifting that. So technology in a lot of ways is leading us that way, Jane. For example, if we, one of the things they've taught me is about parallel universes and how that's going to become a real thing. You know, like people are going to know how to use those. And using consciousness to manifest what they want. So we're not going to be bored. We're going to be able to do what we love doing. The whole money situation is going to change. The healthcare thing is going to change. How we educate, how we learn, all of that is going to shift into a very positive, not to sound corny, but this is the term that they keep using, is heaven on earth. It's heaven on earth. It's us living as conscious souls on the planet, instead of thinking we're just these little biological machines that have to work hard just to survive, right? It's too much fear. So, and they're giving me the impression that we're on the precipice of that right now. It's a shift. Now, they showed me two things, because I asked similar questions that you did. It's like, I've never seen the world so divisive, so polarized, so them against us, red and blue, and blah, blah, blah. It was like all this divisiveness. And I went, what is happening here? And this is so cool, Jane. They showed me this image. Just, it's so cool how I get fed this stuff. Go, you know, a cell, when it's ready to grow into something else, it divides. It doesn't go off into other things. It divides and divides again to grow into a bigger entity, to grow into a bigger something. So as much as it looks like we've got a problem here, right? It's also the old, it's a representation of the inner battle that's going on with a lot of us, of the old world and the new world. the old consciousness of Newtonian physics, where it's hard work, it's struggle, it's mechanistic, it's machines. We don't have much say over it, it's struggle. And the new consciousness, which is quantum physics, which is consciousness and energy that we create that way. I know all this. I know how to live it. I do it a lot of times. I see auras. I go in and out of parallel universes. I can bend spoons. I can do remote viewing. I can talk to the other side. I can see auras and energies. This is where the consciousness is going. It's much more expansive, where we actually realize that we're these amazing, divine, eternal, immortal, multidimensional beings. That's where we're going, because it's more fun. There's more freedom. Now, in a lot of ways, we're still attached to the old paradigm, the old movie, the old, but that sounds like magical thinking. That's not possible. But you know what? Jumping around here a little bit, quantum physics emerged in the 1900s, early 1900s. Schrodinger, Heisenberg, Max Planck, all those guys, 1900s, they actually state that they've realized with all their experiments and everything, that consciousness is fundamental to reality, that we're making this up. Einstein even said, reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Okay. So it's like, wow. So it started in the 1900s and they were onto something. And then the war hit and that all got shoved to the side. And then they got brought in to create bombs and, you know, all the military stuff, right? So all that stuff got shoved to the side. Well, it's all reemerging, Jane. It's all coming back to the surface. All our technology, our new technology is all based on quantum physics. I mean, I don't understand, I'm jumping around, but I don't understand how my cell phone works. How I can talk, my voice can go into this little tiny cell phone and it flies out into the ethers, into space somewhere in little bits of information and goes into my sister's phone in Europe. And it's my voice that she's hearing. It's like, how's that happening? And so all stuff, it's like, and satellites and space travel, and it's all based on quantum physics. Our televisions, our Alexa, you know, and Siri, it's all and virtual reality. It's all quantum physics. And my sense is it's leading us to see what we can do. Okay. It's leading us. So I'll give you, and I want to do one more example too, before I jump over to what they've been showing me. I went, oh my gosh, it feels like everything's going backwards. How are all these rules? We've made so much progress. And now they're pulling us backwards. It's going back, it's going back, it's going back. And they showed me a slingshot. Okay. It's like being pulled back and back and back and back. And then when this shift happens, it's going to happen very quickly. And one of the things that, I mean, we're already in the process of it, but again, it looks like it's crumbling. We don't need to hold on to the old, we need to help the new emerge. Right. And what we've been told, I forget, Buckminster Fuller said that you don't need to fight the old to try and change it. You create something better. Right. And it makes the old obsolete. So my focus is on showing people that and demonstrating how consciousness, much easier way to manifest, much easier way to create things, to live. It creates more love, more joy, more freedom, more abundance than the old way. So demonstrating it, creating something bigger and better. And it's not California woo-woo, Jane, it's quantum physics. So one of the things I've been doing, people can do this, is there's all kinds of things on YouTube with people having near-death experiences. This is another way that technology has benefited us, by the way. They're bringing a lot more people back from the, you know, from death. Like people have heart attacks, they're able to bring them back. People have, you know, life-threatening, they're able to cure them and bring them back. And people come back with these amazing near-death experiences. And it's amazing how many of them are saying, wow, we are on the precipice of a big change, a major change. Consciousness is shifting and it's right here and it's about to happen. And so no fear, no fear. It's like, it's because it's beautiful. It's freedom, it's love, it's joy, it's ease. So what I've been shown is we're headed for more joy, more ease, more freedom, grace and ease. Everything's going to be a lot easier. Well, you notice we don't churn butter anymore, right?
Right.
Plow the fields with a horse and a plow. We don't drive, we don't go across the country in a covered wagon taking months. We don't do any of that, right? One of the things that helped our lives be easier is the discovery of, say, aerodynamics. It's a physics principle, right? Aerodynamics. Now we can fly around the world or fly across the country in 5 hours as opposed to 5 years going across the country in a buggy, right? So all these things, I'm getting excited about what they're showing me about how quantum physics is proving what the spiritual teachers and the mystics and the shamans have been teaching us for centuries. They're coming together. So learning how to use some of these things like parallel universes, which is a physics thing, and you can shift life instantly by knowing the same way you can change the channel on a TV or a radio. You change the channel, you don't like a song you're listening to on the radio, we already know we can change the channel to a different station and listen to that because it's frequency. It's frequency. We know we can do that with our TV, with our computers, with our radios. We can do that with everything. We don't know we can do that with our own lives, that we can change the channel and everything's different instantly. It has to do with our consciousness and our beliefs.
So the question I have is, because you touched on it about the divisiveness and everything that's been going on, the red and the blue and the arguing and all of that, what are they showing you is the best thing that individuals can do to stay away from fear and stay in a lane of peace? Because, it seems like there's just people want to argue or it just seems like it's a really prevalent thing in society now to be angry at someone, if they don't leave the red light quick enough, I mean, I've been flipped off so many times and I'm like, huh. And I just send light and love to that person. And I'm like, boy, they must be having a bad day. So what are we going to do? How do we approach this right now?
The part of it's awareness. So you're aware. It's like, wow, they must be having a bad day, as opposed to reacting to it.
Right.
So let me start with this. We came to this planet for the experiences. We came to have 3-dimensional experiences for the experience. We weren't punished being sent here. It's not something karmic because of something we did in another life that now we have to balance that out, because there's no time over there. Everything's happening simultaneously. So there's no past life, future life. It's all happening now. We're just choosing to focus on something. So and what I've also been shown is for as long as history that we know of, it's always been good guy, bad guy, now good guy, now bad guy, now bad guy, now good guy. But we've been doing this back and forth. This is the good guy. Now these are the good guys. Now these are the bad guys. These are the bad guys. It's lateral. The only way we can solve that is going straight up, is changing thinking. Einstein even said, a problem cannot be solved by the same mind that created the problem in the first place. So it's not about playing this game. Now, having said that, we also came here to have emotions and feelings and experiences, and we're great storytellers, and we get involved in stories, and we love movies, and we love TV shows, and we're adventurous entertainment junkies, but we can get very attached to our emotions. So what people are being provided right now is, oh, I can feel emotions. And so 1, it's a distraction. Okay. 2, it's an addiction. Even people that feel sorry for themselves, they get into pity, self-pity. It's an emotion. It's an addiction. Anger can be an emotion. That's an addiction, right? And it can turn into addiction. So we get very attached to our stories, and we get very attached to our emotions. So what I tell people is, first of all, you can drop that story anytime, change the channel, drop the story. But if you really like this story and you're getting feelings out of it and you like it, go for the gusto, get the juice out of it until you're over it, until you're bored with it. I am so bored with watching these things on TV. It's like, it's boring. It's like watching people play in the mud. It's like, all right, fine. And I don't have judgment about it. They can do it. So 1, they're having experiences. It's not up to me to say what their souls are supposed to be experiencing here or not. They're having experiences. I don't like those, just like I don't like going to horror movies. I don't like going to war movies. I don't like going to bang, bang, shoot 'em up movies. They don't interest me, but other people love them. They relish them. I mean, it's big business, right? It's okay. They can do that. It's not my thing. So I kind of detach. I stay in my own lane. I create as much joy and love and light and optimism and hope and positive energy as I can to show people there's an option, right? And teaching people, this is a big one, Jane. This is a really big one. And this is quantum physics again. we think there's only one reality, and there's not. We are multi-dimensional beings, including in this lifetime on this planet. We're multi-dimensional. Did we ever talk about parallel universes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's an infinite number of you running around based on, and you're in the reality that you're experiencing is the one you believe in. Okay. It's the one where you're putting your energy. So I just did a talk, and I had a girl in the room ask me, well, what about all the people that are destroying animals and the wildlife and nature? I go, well, you got two choices here. Either you're in that universe, in that reality, in that parallel universe to go, oh, I really want to have compassion. I want to have a cause. I want to fight for that. I want to make a difference. I want to help make that better. You're either doing it for that reason to get the experience and the juice out of it, or you've forgotten who you really are, and you've forgotten you could go into a universe where none of that is happening. So my question for you is, if you don't like it, why are you in that universe? Because we think there's only one, and we're victims, and there's nothing we can do about it other than fight, right? Or go against the bad guys. And so here we are, back and forth this way again. Good guys, bad guys. I got the right. No, you're wrong. Blah. That's not getting us anywhere other than same old experience. I'm bored with it. So I'm going up and going, why am I in a universe where that's happening? So I see things differently, which is why I believe that we got a lot of rain here and got California out of drought. It's like, okay, I don't like this drought thing. Okay. And a lot of people are like, rain, 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 rain. Well, we got the rain. We manifested it. Synchronous coincidence? Okay, maybe, but I don't think so. I think our consciousness manifested that. So that's one. There was something else. Oh, then the other way I see this, Jane, and I really believe this, and spiritual teachers have been telling us this too, and now physicists are saying it, consciousness is creating our reality. Consciousness is creating our reality. It's all consciousness, okay? So when I see something happening in my outer world, I know that it's me projecting it out there and creating that dream, that experience. I know this sounds woo-woo, but you guys, I'm telling you, this is physics too. So if I do have a judgment, I'm not perfect yet. I've gotten very good at not having judgments about people. I mean, I don't like getting cut off or rude people in driving around either. Pushes my buttons. Wow, you think you're the only person on the planet here? What are you? That's very rude, very unconscious. And I go, okay, where do I do that? Not cut off people, or I look at anything in me that is being projected out there that I can see that's a representation of what I'm doing, maybe on a smaller level, but it got louder so I could see it, right? Okay. So if I have a judgment, like, let's take a simple one right now. That person lies. I don't like that they lie. Okay, do you lie? Yeah, but I don't lie at that extent. Yeah, I lie. Like, I tell little white lies so I don't hurt somebody's feelings, or, to get out of going someplace I don't really want to go, rather than hurt their feelings. I'll tell a little white lie. It's still lying. So now when I see somebody lying, first I go, okay, is that a reflection of what I'm doing? If so, if I have a judgment about it, it means it's my issue, that there's something that I'm doing inside that I'm not happy with, and I projected it outside. If I don't have a judgment of it, then it's an observation. And then I can look at the person, just like what you did, and go, wow, I wonder what's going on with that person. I wonder how insecure or frightened they are that they felt they had to lie or cheat or steal or hurt somebody else. What's going on with them that would cause that behavior? So then it's not a judgment, it's more of an observation, and it brings compassion out of me. Now, I don't condone the behavior, but at least I understand what's brought about that behavior. So when I see people fighting like that, I go, it's just fear. It's all fear. It's all fear. It's fear. Okay. So where can I resolve fear in me? And where can I be an example on the planet of not living in fear? Because I'm telling you, Jane, when people are happy and they're fulfilled, they're safe to be around. It's when people are scared that they're not safe to be around. Yeah. So our focus is to create a world, create an understanding that we don't have to be afraid of anything, that we're creating it. So it's funny to me. I know I create my reality. Do I know it all the time? Oh, heck no. I can go right back into this old world. Like I said, the fight within me is the old belief system, the old paradigm of hard work, struggle, victim. And the new one where I go, no, I create my reality. I create it. It's my thoughts, my consciousness. So I've got that battle going on. So what I see out in the world is the battle of the old ways and the new ways, right? It's the conflict. So once I make peace with that and there's not an inner conflict, I see things easing up out there, or it doesn't get to me. And then I go, oh, they're here having experiences, and it's not for me to judge what their soul is choosing to experience here. We're all adding to all that is. All our experiences are adding to source, so source can experience. So I think God, all that is, source, the universe, whatever word you want to put on the wholeness of it all, I think we're starting to go, yeah, I think we kind of over this, them against us, fear-based, negative, destructive. I think we're getting over that, which is why we're starting to shift. And did you notice that we didn't start World War III? We could have. There's a war in Ukraine. All the countries didn't jump on it and start a world war. It was like, no, we got to handle this a different way. We don't want war anymore. We're making war obsolete. We really are. And it's possible because even the soldiers don't want to go to war.
Right.
People in the military don't want it. So that's a shift in consciousness. There's
I have noticed. Yeah. Go ahead.
There's a lot of changes out there in the consciousness. Look at this, for example. I started doing, I mean, I've been into spirituality and quantum physics for as long as I can remember, right? Way before I started doing this work. But I've been seeing auras, doing psychic work for almost 40 years. When I first started, Jane, not only was there not much on it out there available to hear about, there was a lot of fear and judgment and criticism about it. You know, I got that from my religious friends, from my science-based friends. It's like, what do you know, they freaked out because it wasn't in the norm.
Right.
Now, you noticed how much of this is in the conversation in the mainstream. I can watch mainstream newscasters talk about how, well, you manifest it, you put it out into the universe and you visualize it. And I'm going, these are people in mainstream media talking about this. I go, oh, something it's shifted.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the consciousness. You're hearing more people talking about, they know people don't die, you know, that when they die, they still exist. You see that, the interest in it. People are having experiences where they know their dog died, but they can still feel it in the room, the dog, right? It's like, or they're contemplating bigger ideas now. Do you know what I mean? Telepathy and remote viewing. And, you know, a lot of this stuff is just opening up and getting bigger. People want to see auras. They want to be able to be psychic or enhance their intuition or do energy work to heal people. More and more of that is coming up. So the consciousness is definitely evolving. And it's the same thing that they've told me from the other side, that things are opening up and shifting big time. There's more interest. It's changing. And from people that have had near-death experiences that come back with those same messages that we're evolving, we're shifting, we're changing. And it does feel, I mean, sometimes it feels like life's going really fast. And other times it's like, come on, are we still doing this? It's so, oh my gosh, it's so dense and so slow. How come we're still doing this? But that slingshot thing really did help me when they showed me the slingshot pulling back. And then it's going to go. Look at the young people protesting, you know, anti-guns and protesting, you know, the abortion laws and whatever. It's like the young people are stepping up going, yeah, I don't think so. Because that new consciousness, we baby boomers, well, you're younger than me, the baby boomers kind of opened the portal, started in, you know, all the hippies, the peace movement, all this stuff that we opened up and started all this. Now the younger people, it got it much easier to come out and go, yeah, wait a second. And it's amazing how many young people are interested in these higher concepts, spirituality, quantum physics, consciousness. It's amazing. I didn't grow up with that. Of course, I didn't grow up with a cell phone and a computer and, you know, it's like, I didn't grow up with that, but now they're so connected. I mean, we can find out what's happening on the other side of the world instantly. So we're much more connected.
Yeah.
So for people that are getting discouraged, it's like, you know, let them have their old fights. You know, they're just coming from fear. They want to keep it the way it is. It can't stay the way it is. It's not going to stay the way it is. Never has. It has never stayed the same. We've always evolved. We've always grown. All right. You can look back 100 years and see that cars are different. You know, I mean, just that alone and the way we thought. And you know, you're not putting eels or leeches on people to suck the demons out of them or something, right? Everything's shifting. And to me, it's optimistic. And I'm not afraid of AI. People can do that if they want. They can create a horror movie if they want. They can create Terminator if they want to have that experience. That's not what's going to happen in my parallel universe. That's not what's going to happen in my reality. It's not what I'm interested in. It's not the theater I went into to watch whatever movie that I wrote and helped direct and I'm casted in, right?
Right.
Parallel universes, just so people know, that's a real quantum physics thing. They have evidence, just in case they haven't heard us talk about this before, that we are multidimensional beings and there's an infinite number of you, even on this planet, let alone in other lifetimes. It's an infinite number of you. You just think there's only one reality and one you. So you're focused on that one and you're having that one experience when there's actually infinite. You know what blows me away, Jane? I got to stop saying blows me away. We created way too much wind here. Anyway, the movie that just won the awards, Everything Everywhere All at Once, that's about parallel universes.
Yeah.
Sliding doors, Back to the Future, Frequency, Somewhere in Time. It's all about parallel universes. And they know they're real. And so if they're real, just like aerodynamics, we can use that to better our lives. We can use parallel universes to shift our lives. So if you're not happy in the universe you're in, either one, get the juice out of it. You're there to have the experience, to learn something or to change something or to experience that movie. When you don't want that one anymore, when you're over it, we change the dial or we push the button for those that don't have dials anymore. We change the channel. Now look at, we don't even have to push buttons anymore to change the channel on the TV anymore. We just have to tell it. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Use our voice to tell it what to do. It's like, wow, that's a completely different consciousness. It's energy and consciousness, bits of information. So I remain optimistic because I've been shown, Jane, oh my gosh, the future that we're headed for, the two words that go the best with it are grace and ease. Grace and ease. And then people get to live the lifestyle that they want. Okay. Money's going to change. Look at it already is. That amazes me to see cryptocurrency. They're making it up out of nothing. They're pulling it out of nothing. And they're exchanging it out of just bits of technology. I go, oh, yeah, but if I look at regular money, like paper money, there's no substance behind that either. There's no gold behind that anymore. We're just printing up paper and playing Monopoly with it. So when we get to the point where we don't have to work for money like that, then people get to do what they love to do. If they want to do energy work, they can do that. If they want to garden, they can do that. If they want to be a writer or a painter or whatever, they get to do that. But it's not because they're stuffed in a job and they have to do it just to survive. We're moving beyond survival issues.
Right. What about, I know you can't put time because time is not linear, but what are you shown as far as the shift that's happening? How soon, when is this going to be more universal where people are actually living with ease and grace and seeking more joy instead of all the silly day-to-day arguments that they're having?
Yeah. So first of all, there's two answers to this. One, since there's no such thing as time, and Einstein even said that, the whole general relativity, he said,
Right.
You're on the road and you're headed for the lake, just because you haven't gotten to the lake yet doesn't mean it doesn't exist already. So basically, the bottom line answer, the real answer is it already exists. We're just not aligning with it. We haven't gone into that movie. We haven't stepped into that movie and we live the movies that we believe in. So we're not quite in this particular parallel universe that you and I are talking in right now and people are listening. We're not fully believing it's here yet. Okay. So the real answer, it already exists. That's why, I mean, Christ even said, heaven's among you. It's right here. It's already here. It's already here. We're not experiencing yet because we don't believe in it. So that's one. Now, I have heard different people, excuse me, we've already entered into the process. It's already emerging for people that have had near-death experiences. One of them said, I just heard one the other day said, here's the years that it's going to actually shift radically, is 2029 to 2032 is when you're going to see this radical shift. Someone else said, but this person also knows astrology, 2026. Okay. Now, The thing is here's the real answer. It depends on which parallel universe you're hanging out in. Okay. So you can hang out in the one where it's happening right now. I don't seem to be doing that fully. I'm having glimpses of it. I'm having experiences of it, way more joy, way more ease, way more abundance, way more freedom. I have way more of that than I used to have way back when, because I'm aligning with that universe. So I'm already in one of them that's got some of that in it already. Am I fully there? No. Do I know why I'm not fully there yet? I think part of it is because, one, the old world is still very convincing. The old belief system, the old paradigm is very convincing. So I still doubt, like, wait, can I really shift it over into that heaven on earth? Can I really do this? Is it going to take time? So one, it's the old belief system. And two, it's like, I don't know how to fully do it. I don't know how to fully do it. So again, it's not fully possible. And three, I think there's a little bit of an attachment to the world, the way I'm doing it now. It's like, wait, is it going to be so easy? I'm going to be bored. So I've got a little bit of fear going on. Like, if it's going to be heaven on earth, what are we doing? I mean, sometimes we like the story and something to overcome and something to figure out and something to fix. But, the more I get bored with that, the easier it becomes. Right. So the real answer is which parallel universe are you going to be in? And that's how long it's going to take you to experience. It's where you put your energy. So if you're putting your energy into the story and the drama, you're going to stay in that one longer. It's like saying, okay, I'm watching something on TV. When do I get to watch a different movie? Well, when are you going to change the channel?
Right. Right. That's good. I like that you broke it down into simplistic terms like that, because that is really, truly what it is. It's like wherever you are, wherever you go, there you are, So what is your choice of what you really want to manifest? What do you want? Do you want freedom and ease and grace and a good time and lots of laughter, or do you want to argue? And I just keep leaning over to that side of ease and grace, and
Yep.
it's been, it's just such an easier life too, to kind of just get lost in that.
Yeah, and proving that that's possible. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that that's possible.
Mm,
They think, I mean, Richard Bach said, argue for your limitations and they're yours. So people go,
exactly.
oh, this is real. You don't understand. You're being stupid.
Right.
Real. And I go, well, that's real in your world. It's not real in mine. Did I ever show you my thumb exercise?
No, I don't think so.
Let's do this with your audience real quick. Okay.
Okay.
Find something in the room, a lamp, or, a mirror, some article, a vase, a lamp, something. And about 12 inches away, put your thumb in front of your face and block that out so that your thumb is blocking out that item, right?
Okay.
Now just look at it with one eye. So look at it with your right eye only.
Okay.
Do not move your thumb. Don't move your thumb. Now look at
Okay.
it just with your left eye.
Yeah.
Now with your right eye. Yeah. Now with your left eye, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now look at this. So you got your own eyes on your same body, your same brain, your same thinking, and your two eyes couldn't agree which side of your How do you expect anybody else in this world to be having the same perception, the same experience, the same beliefs that you do? There's not two people on this planet that believe life the same way or experience it the same way. So you get to the point where you go, oh, that's interesting. How do you see it? Well, that's interesting. And then you choose how you want to see it, because there's not just one reality. That's what blows people that go, no, there's a hard bed reality. No, quantum physics is saying there isn't. There isn't a hard bed reality. Matter of fact, there's no way to prove an objective reality, because the observer always affects the reality. They've done physics, scientific experiments. You know that double slit experiment? Okay, where they send one photon through a slit, and then on the other side, that photon of light is in one line on the wall, right? And then they put two slits in there and they send one photon through, and it goes into superposition or turns into a wave, which is why they said light is both a particle and a wave, turns into a wave and goes through both slits at the same time. And on the other side creates an interference pattern, right? So it's like, wait a second, is it a particle or is it a wave? It's a wave of all possibilities. The observer And so they go, wait, when does it go from one photon of light into that wave? When does that change? So they observe it just to see when it made that shift. And when they observe it, it doesn't change. It stays the particle and it never goes into the wave. They're like, whoa. So they've surmised now that the observer is affecting reality. It's affecting that particle. It's a particle or it's a wave, based on how you observe.
Of course it is.
So, and this is quantum physics, it's consciousness. We're creating our experience, we're creating our lives, we're creating our reality. It's mind-blowing, Jane, what they're discovering. And this is coming from information from the other side. The veil's getting thinner between our side and the people that have crossed over. There's just a lot of things that are evolving our understanding. And I tell people over and over again, it sounds like science fiction, but a lot of things that were once called science fiction are now science fact. And I know it's a challenge for people to go from physical, solid, we don't have any way of, we get sick, we die, it's solid, you have to push it, move it, you have to work hard to make money. I know it's challenging to shift those beliefs, to see it a different way, but it's happening. It's happening. It's part of our evolution. And did I tell you, when I was taught how to bend a spoon with my mind?
Yeah, right.
Taught by an aerospace engineer, right? And we're holding the spoons, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. We're going bend, 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 nothing's happening. Till a woman in the back of the room lets out this yelp, and we look and turn around and her spoon is falling over. As soon as we saw that, our spoons fell over. So it's like, oh, what? It's real. And when I teach my courses, same thing. People, when they're in the room together, they're more psychic together. When they're in the room together and somebody starts bending a spoon, everyone's like, oh, it's pop. And then their spoons bend. It's like there's something in us. It's like when we see somebody else doing it, or wait, you sailed around the world's round, it's not flat. What? Or wait, you got on an airplane, it's possible, then it feels more real to us, which is why I share my stories.
Yeah.
That's why I share that this is real.
Is there anything that has come to you recently that you've gone, oh my, like a major aha for you? Because I know that you read all the time, and I know that you're in that community with quantum physics and parallel universes and all of seeing auras and all of the spending of the spoons. But is there something recently that you've been shown that you were amazed by?
Yeah. The bigger one came from your mom, by the way. But the two that I went, oh yeah, that makes sense, is when they showed me the cell, when the cell's ready to turn into something bigger, it divides. I went, oh yeah, okay. Now it helped me make sense of what's going on in the world. And then also the slingshot image. When they showed me that, I went, oh, it was a shift. And it was like, oh, it shifted me. I went, oh, okay. I got it, the slingshot. But the one that shocked me the most, and it shouldn't have, I don't know why it shocked me, was something your mom said from the other side that she told you. And I don't know if you remember this. She said, oh yeah, there's other beings over here on this side, and they're not from this planet. And I went, duh. It's like, right. There's other life forms over there. And I'm not just talking about dogs and cats and pets, sure, things that have been on the earth. There's other life forms over there on the other side. I went, of course, I know they exist. Yeah. Of course, why wouldn't they be on the other side too? So that one actually shocked me, and it shouldn't have, because I know that there's life in other dimensions, other planets, other galaxies, especially other dimensions that we're not seeing. Right. So that one shocked me. Other than that, no, Jane, it's pretty much been, the parallel universes I've known for a while. So that one was really cool to discover. What's doing it for me now is knowing all this theoretically and embodying it, demonstrating, living it as a truth. And every time something happens, like having a desire to go to Maui, and going, oh, Gaia, how am I going to do that? And I can't, and blah, blah, blah. And out of the blue, a brand new client calls me and goes, I really liked my reading. I have a condo in Maui. Do you want to go stay there? It's like, every time.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Having just a thought of, That would be kind of fun someday to go to Brazil, Rio. What a cool place. I've never been to a country like that. That would be cool. And within a week, my cousin calls me and goes, hey, one of my clients just gave me 2 business class tickets to go to Rio. You want to go with me? Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
sure do.
things, every time something like that happens,
Right,
it's delightful and it shows me that it's real. And so
right.
I get delighted by that. So yeah,
Yeah,
those
I love that.
what
Yep.
shocks me the most, I have to say, Jane, what bothers me the most is I know all this, I've experienced it, and I still go into the old paradigm at times.
Yeah, but
That I got to be kind to myself, but that does shock me because I've had so many experiences that this is real.
right. Well, you're only human, so,
Oh,
you know,
we got to change that definition.
right.
When people say you're only human, that sounds very faulty, default, very.
Well, we're human beings.
uh
I've heard the human doing, what would you like to call it? I mean, it's not that you're only human. I don't mean that, but you
That's
are human.
that's what I mean by we when someone says, well, you're only human, it sounds like, well,
Oh, I see.
you got things wrong with you. I mean, you're weak or there's something wrong with your
Oh,
fault.
I see what you're saying.
Instead
Yeah.
of like, wow, you're human, meaning, wow, look at what you can do because you're a human.
Yeah, very true. I think we can shift a lot, manifestation is a real thing, and it takes belief, more than anything. You have to believe that you can achieve whatever said thing is, like your trip to Brazil or whatever, and you just put it out to the universe, and here's your cousin calling you going, let's go,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
and you've had those experiences. You've, I think I've shared this with you before, Deepak's example of the 5 levels of consciousness. Like if you
Mhm.
have the desire for ice cream in level 1 of consciousness, you have the desire for ice cream. You got to go out, interview, get a job, work, make the money, get your paycheck, get in your car, drive to the ice cream store. Then you get the ice cream, right? That's level 1. That's where most of us live. That's Newtonian physics, right? It's a lot of work, a lot of energy expended. Level 2, you have the desire for ice cream, and a friend of yours stops by and goes, oh, I was just in your neighborhood and I just bought ice cream. And hey, you want to eat some ice cream with me? We've all had that experience. That's a level 2 consciousness, more ease and grace. Level 3, you have the desire for ice cream. You go to the freezer, you open it up, and there's ice cream in there. You go, I don't remember buying ice cream. I've had that
Sure.
experience too, with ice cream, with money, with, all kinds of things, right? Level 4, very high level of knowingness, of realizing who we are. You have the desire for ice cream and you open the hand and it's there. That's very Christ consciousness. That's very advanced spiritual consciousness, very advanced being consciousness. I haven't done that one yet, but I'll get there. And level 5, you have the desire for ice cream and you realize you and the ice cream are one. Now, I used to go, well, we don't want to do level 5. We want to taste the ice cream. I don't want to know that I want the ice cream. But then I started shifting it, going, but wait, if I'm one with it, then I can experience it right now. But
That's a good
if you know
point.
that you're one, then you don't have the what's the contrast of knowing that this is you and this is the ice cream, so you can experience eating ice cream.
Yeah,
If you believe you're one with the ice cream, you don't get to experience it the same way.
right. So you went from, 7 to 9 hours working with all these clients. What are you doing now to fill your time?
Okay, embarrassed to acknowledge this, but Pam still has this old dichotomy going on that says I have to work,
Ah,
stay busy,
interesting.
I have to be responsible, I have things to do, I'm obligated, I have obligations, I have commitments. So right now I'm still doing my my website that's got my courses on it and my
Okay.
books. I'm doing that, and I'm promoting a lot of other people. So if people are on my mailing list, I'm promoting a lot of other speakers and courses to help them get their word out too. Because at first I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many of these. Oh my gosh, they're coming out of the woodwork. And I went, hey, this is the good news. There's a lot of them. That means that this information's out there and other people are doing that and I don't have to do it anymore.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because way back when I was one of the only teachers out there,
Right.
doing all this stuff. But now it's like, wow, it's everywhere. Yay.
Oh, it
Now
is.
So I've been traveling, I've been playing, and then I
Good.
still have this. Well, I'm obligated. I'm helping these other people get their stuff out there. But more and more, I'm getting to the point where I'm playing more, I'm traveling more, I'm just sometimes sitting on my deck and enjoying my view.
Mm,
And like breathing in the nature and watching the birds and just going, wow, enjoying what I've created.
right.
Creation.
Good. I'm happy to hear you say that because you did say the last time we spoke, you said you were really wanting to create more joy, in joy. You wanted to be in joy, not
I have a lot
enjoy.
more of that. I have a lot more of that. I just have this old paradigm in here that goes,
Hmm.
have responsibilities, get this done, get this done. And now I get to the point sometimes where I go, if I don't get it done, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah.
Right.
So the dishes don't get done today. Don't care.
Right. Yeah. You've worked hard for a long time and maybe it's time for that shift for you where you step into what is next, the next universe for you, the next parallel experience.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been
Yeah.
doing. Desires
That
to
is,
travel. I got all kinds of trips last year.
yeah,
Just
that's great. I love it. And courses, people can buy your books, they can take your courses, they can check their aura colors if they want, all at auracolors.com. So that's still active, correct?
it's still active. And my Quantum Leap course is the big one right now. This
Oh,
is
okay.
teaching people how to do all of this.
Oh, I love it.
How to mind over matter, bend spoons, parallel universes, how to do that, how to shift universes, how to do remote viewing, how to talk to people on the other side, how to see auras. All of that is in my Quantum Leap course. And I want people to know that all my courses and my meditations are full money back guarantee.
I love that.
People get
And
it.
is it online, the quantum? You can just do it at your own leisure, just kind of as you go? Okay.
Mhm.
That's good to know. And so through that course, you're actually teaching individuals how to do the things that you've been doing for years, decades.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm telling you, Jane, when people realize they can do this, it makes life so much more fun. There's more freedom, there's more ease, there's more love, there's more compassion. It just opens up the world to make it so much more interesting instead
Mm,
of like playing in the mud, not even playing in the mud, fighting in the mud. It's like,
yeah.
not, I just want people to know there's options. They have
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a very, very good thing to remind people of because we all need that. We all need to know that, life is quite an interesting ride. This portion of the program, right? Whatever this is, and that we can shift at any point and look through a different lens or look into a different box and create something new and something maybe that is, more joy and more fun attached to it.
I want
Um,
to know, Jane, that you guys, we've chosen to come here right now.
oh, yes, I fully believe that.
This is so many people are here now because they wanted to be part of this shift, this evolution. It's like a lot of people signed up to come here. So I know there's a lot of people out there that are depressed and suicidal and unhappy and, oh my gosh, the world's falling apart. I go, just don't put your energy into that. Put your energy into solution and the positive and the light, and that's what's going to grow. You put your energy into fear and you're adding to that energy. You
Yeah.
came here for a reason, and you came here right now because you're a very adventurous soul. You are very adventurous to be here at this time, okay? Because it's very challenging right now, but there's something in you that must be courageous, fun, and adventurous and brave to come here at this time. So if you just even meditating and just sending love and grace and peace to the world, that matters. It's all consciousness. We pick it up.
Right.
Very telepathic beings. So you
Yeah.
don't have to get out there and march if you don't feel like doing that. You don't have to become a billionaire to make a difference. You don't have to do that. Just your consciousness adding to it and putting light here. It's as easy as that. It doesn't have to be hard work.
I love that. Great final thoughts. My guest is Pamala Oslie, auracolors.com. You can find all of her books. She's got 5 books, 5, right? 5 or 6.
I
Yeah, 5 books. You can take her quantum physics course, or is it quantum leap course? What do you call it?
Quantum Leap. It's the
Quantum
quantum
leap.
course.
I love that. There's actually a show. I mean, you're right about that. You were talking about, I mean, it's everywhere, the show that Ricky Gervais did on Afterlife, and there's a show called Quantum Leap. And I mean, very rarely does a moment go by that you don't connect with someone that's willing to kind of dive deeper and talk about this. And even though it is a challenging time, I find a lot more individuals in my life that are filled with love and light and laughter than I do the other side of it. And it's just because that's what I choose.
That's right.
That's where I live. That's my sweet spot. And, if you're going to bring a problem to me, I'm going to say, what's the solution? Or what are you going to do about it? Don't, I don't have time. I really don't.
And
So
that old saying of like, problems are just opportunities. I really believe that. Now, Jane, whenever there's a challenge, I go, ooh, this is an opportunity for me to see if I can shift parallel universes or change it or put light and love in it. This is an opportunity for me to prove to myself that this is real.
yeah, that's good. Pam, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you've had wall-to-wall meetings and all kinds of shows that you're on and everything. And so for you to take time and talk to the Next Room listeners, it's really, really greatly appreciated. And Pam, of course, stars in my book, The Next Room, and people ask me about you all the time and ask about your generosity and what you did with my dad, and how, Big Don got the whole party started by that conversation in my backyard in 2011, when you generously had a visit with him, and my mother came bursting through to have, a little chat with Dad. So I so appreciate it. The book has been so well received, and you're a huge part of it. And I'm forever grateful that you would help us get to the point where I no longer need you to communicate with Mom.
And I love that you're putting this type of energy out into the consciousness, and you're willing to show up and do these types of shows. It's so thrilling to me to see you out there, and you're passionate about it and you're excited about it. It's like, yeah, see, we're doing things that we love doing and we've got passion for and excitement or ease,
Yeah.
whatever. So I really appreciate that you're showing up and doing that.
Absolutely. It's my honor, and I love it. And every single day I meet another intriguing soul that wants to share their gifts. And there's so many cool people out there that are doing really great big things. So bring it on. You can reach me, the next room at Jane@gmail. It's janeasherrainey.com if you want to check out everything there. The podcast, of course, is everywhere that you find your favorite podcast. I also have a brand new YouTube channel that I load the podcasts on because some people prefer to watch them. And thank you. Thank you for the 5-star reviews. Thank you for the lovely emails I get. My community on Facebook is just growing leaps and bounds. And I'm just so happy that we decided to travel together. So thanks so much for tuning in to The Next Room. Pamela, thank you again.
Thank you.